The hidden reason women choose fools over geniuses and why you keep losing. You've seen it. The man with nothing to say walks into a room and somehow he owns it. No depth, no insight, no soul, yet everyone feels his presence. Meanwhile, the intelligent man, you waits, measures his words, analyzes the atmosphere. By the time you've built the perfect sentence, the fool is already laughing in her ear, and she's laughing back. You thought intelligence was power, but life has a brutal lesson. Power is not something you have, it's something you perform. Michel Foucault. Women don't choose the best man, they choose the one who performs power like he was born wearing a crown. That's why over and over again the throne is occupied by the idiot in costume, not the philosopher in exile. Foucault warned us. Visibility is a trap, but the fool doesn't fear visibility, he craves it, he lives in it. And while you're trapped in your head, he's already claiming her body. If that truth hurts, good. Because if you're tired of watching idiots win while you fade into the shadows, it's time to understand how power really works. The Philosopher's Curse. Why your mind became the cage that kills your power. Foucault once said, "The soul is the prison of the body." And if you've ever watched a brainless man draped in loudness, owning the room, the energy, the woman, you felt that prison slam shut. You, the thinker, watch from the shadows, silent, clever, unchosen, not because you lack value, but because you never learned to perform it. We live in a world that rewards not the richness of thought, but the boldness of display. And the fool, he displays everything, even when he has nothing. The philosopher, meanwhile, is trapped in exile, not because he's weak, but because his strength was never translated into movement. Nietzsche warned us, we are all afraid of the truth. And here's the truth no one tells you. Women aren't wired to choose the man who knows the most. They choose the man who moves the most. Because power is not stored in the mind, it is performed in the flesh. That's why, while you're rehearsing the perfect sentence, the fool is already laughing in her ear, already placing his hand on her waist, already winning. You thought presence comes from depth, but depth without presence is a grave. And here's the philosopher's curse. The more you understand life, the more invisible you become in it. Arthur Schopenhauer knew this tragedy. The person who writes for fools is always sure of a large audience. But you never wanted to write for fools. You wanted to embody wisdom, to radiate understanding. Yet, in a theater where noise wins, your silence is your death. Foucault laid this bare when he wrote, "Power is not an institution, nor a structure, nor a strength we are endowed with. It is the name one attributes to a complex strategical situation. In other words, power is a dance, not a diploma. And the fool, he doesn't ask who built the dance floor. He doesn't analyze the rhythm. He dances, terribly, confidently, first. And that's why he wins. His ignorance is not his weakness, it's his superpower. Because he's blind to the walls you see, and where you see barriers, he walks straight through. You've been taught that hesitation is prudence, that caution is wisdom, that humility is virtue. But Foucault's world is darker than that. We live under the gaze of the teacher-judge, the doctor-judge, the social worker-judge, a society obsessed with taming you into a docile body, measuring you, weighing you, silencing you, normalizing you. You were never free, you were domesticated. The fool, he doesn't know the rules, so he plays like there are none. Søren Kierkegaard whispered, "Anxiety is the dizziness of freedom, but the fool feels no dizziness because he's never stepped high enough to see the cliff." You, though, have mapped every edge, and in your careful steps, you've never leapt. That's why she doesn't feel you, because power isn't in knowledge, it's in kinetic energy. You keep thinking, if I understand her deeply, if I show emotional intelligence, if I reveal my soul, she will see me. But she doesn't want to see your soul, she wants to feel your gravity. And gravity doesn't whisper, it pulls. While you're waiting for a sign, the fool simply takes. He doesn't ask if his desire is politically correct, socially acceptable, or emotionally attuned. He acts before thinking, and that action itself becomes the attraction. It's not that women are blind to his emptiness, it's that his movement distracts from it. Foucault taught us, power is everywhere because it comes from everywhere. The fool radiates power because he's loud, present, laughing, leading, even if he's leading nowhere. Meanwhile, you, with all your depth, stand frozen, overthinking, overfeeling, overwaiting. You become the wise ghost in the corner, a monument to potential, a philosopher with no microphone. And that is the humiliation. Not that she didn't want you, but that she never felt you. Jean-Paul Sartre captured it best. We are our choices. The fool chooses to act, you choose to prepare, but preparation is invisible. Movement is magnetic. So what do you want to be? The critic in the back of the theater, or the actor who owns the stage? This is not an attack on your intelligence, it's a wake-up call. Because if you don't translate your mind into motion, your brilliance will rot in silence. If that truth burned, good. The Unstoppable Idiot. Why stupid men win while you watch from the shadows. Let's call it what it is, the humiliation of intelligence. You see it, you've lived it. The fool walks into the room, dripping with loudness, cluelessness, and confidence. And the woman you admire, she laughs at his jokes, she touches his arm, she leaves with him. And you're standing there, holding your brilliance like a broken shield. Because you thought insight was your sword, you thought your depth would protect you. But here's the tragedy. Foucault would force you to confront. Power is exercised rather than possessed. In other words, it doesn't matter what you know, it matters that you move. The fool wins, not because he's better, but because he's faster, bolder, louder. He performs power without irony, without apology, without shame. While you're still constructing your argument, he's already inside her personal space. While you're writing your thesis, he's already claimed the throne. Because power doesn't wait for credentials. It follows presence. Sun Tzu said, "The opportunity of a lifetime must be seized during the lifetime of the opportunity." But the intelligent man, he waits, he calculates, he wonders. Is this the right moment? Am I worthy yet? Should I approach? Should I say that? By the time you finish that mental interrogation, the fool is already kissing her. Because his ignorance is armor, he doesn't feel the pressure to be worthy, he just assumes he is. And women, though they may never say it, are drawn to that uninterrupted self-certainty. The stupid man doesn't suffer the disease of overthinking. He isn't paralyzed by what-ifs. He doesn't drown in his own complexity. He is simple, he is immediate. And that immediacy, that's what makes him dangerous. You've been told that knowledge is power, but Foucault flips that on its head. Knowledge is not power unless it's strategic. He wrote in Society Must Be Defended, knowledge is for cutting. If you don't know how to cut with it, if you don't know how to weaponize your understanding, then you're not powerful. You're just interesting. But nobody fucks the interesting man. They fuck the man who claims space. While you ponder your next line, he smirks, he stares, he touches. His stupidity protects him from shame, from doubt, from hesitation. And in that shield of obliviousness, he becomes what Nietzsche called the man of action, untouched by the paralyzing effect of thought. This is why women stand beside fools, not because they admire stupidity, but because stupidity allows a man to move without the virus of self-analysis. And that movement, it feels like strength. To a woman, tired of navigating a world of indecision, his obliviousness feels like freedom. His thoughtlessness feels like clarity. While you drown in inner dialogue, he makes her feel, not think. Because attraction is not a debate, it's an energy. You think your insight will impress her, but she's not choosing the man who makes her think. She's choosing the man who makes her feel undistracted power. The stupid man is unbothered, unashamed, unburdened by reflection. That's why he wins. Foucault would remind you, where there is power, there is resistance. But resistance is not victory. Resistance often just isolates the intelligent man. You are resisting the game, he is mastering it. He does not ask if Instagram validation is shallow, he flexes anyway. He doesn't wonder if small talk is meaningless. He owns the room with it. He doesn't question if pursuing her is too soon. He acts. You stand there, auditing the moment. He charges into it. You hope your restraint will be respected. He knows emotions don't wait that long. And that's the dagger you've been hiding from. You didn't lose because you weren't enough. You lost because you weren't fast enough. And so you watch her walk away, not because she wanted a fool, but because the fool arrived first. His stupidity is not a lack, it is his agility. Because when you're not burdened by thought, you are never paralyzed. You are never interrupted. You are never invisible. The stupid man cuts through the world, not because he's sharp, but because he's blunt. And in a world sterilized by overthinking, bluntness feels like power. If that truth makes your blood boil, good, because the final part is coming, and it's where I show you how to fight back. How to escape the prison of your mind and radiate power she can't ignore. Let's be honest, you're not here because you want to admire the fool. You're here because you're tired of losing to him. Tired of watching her leave with the man who couldn't spell philosophy if you tattooed it on his chest. And if you've made it this far, it means one thing: you're ready to change. But not by becoming stupid, by becoming undeniable. Foucault gave us the secret, hidden in the architecture of power. Power is tolerable only on the condition that it masks a substantial part of itself. That's why the fool wins. His confidence looks effortless, natural, instinctive. It isn't. It's just that his ignorance conceals the machinery. You, the intelligent man, reveal your machinery with every pause, every overthought sentence, every self-interruption. And women feel that. They feel the hesitation, not the genius behind it. Here's your first lesson. You must unlearn the obedience that made you invisible. You were taught to wait, to rehearse, to present your worth politely, as if life is a job interview. But life is not an interview, it's a battlefield. Nietzsche said, "He who cannot command himself must obey." And you've been obeying invisible scripts your whole life. Scripts that say, don't be too forward, wait for the right moment, make sure she's comfortable first. All noble ideas. But nobility doesn't win in the theater of desire. The fool moves because he doesn't know the rules. You must move because you've chosen to break them. Your mind is a fortress, but it's become your cage. You've intellectualized desire so much, you've forgotten how to express it. And Foucault warned us. The soul is the effect and instrument of a political anatomy. The soul is the prison of the body. Your brilliance was turned against you, weaponized into chains. And the woman? She doesn't want your perfect mind. She wants your presence. She wants to feel you move, to see you claim space, not wait for it. Because desire is not one with essays. It is one with energy. You can keep waiting for permission, or you can realize that in this world, permission is never given. It's taken. You don't have to become stupid. You have to become immediate. You have to let your desire be seen, unapologetically. Don't whisper your interest. Command it. Don't wait for the perfect line. Say the first one that carries your intent. Because she isn't looking for the man who explains himself the best. She's looking for the man who makes her feel herself the most. And that energy, that's power. Foucault said, power produces reality. If you keep living in your head, that reality is exile. But if you move boldly without the stutter of doubt, you produce a reality where you are felt. Let me say it plainly. Women are not selecting men based on IQ points. They are selecting based on vibration, on the energy of a man who is undistracted by his own mind. You've made intelligence your refuge. Now make it your weapon, because knowledge is only power when it is cutting through the world. Don't be the man who writes great monologues in his head. Be the man who speaks them out loud, raw, unfiltered, real. The stupid man wins because he moves before the world tells him he's allowed. You will win when you realize you never needed permission to begin with. If you want her attention, don't wait to earn it. Take it. And no, that doesn't mean disrespect. It means boldness. It means claiming space with your presence, not just your thoughts. You think truth will win her, but women don't want to be convinced. They want to be consumed. So burn this into your mind. Power is kinetic. It moves. It breathes. It doesn't ask. That's how you escape the prison Foucault described. You don't have to betray your intelligence, but you must stop letting it neuter your power. In this world, power belongs to the man who acts, not the man who explains. You've been the ghost long enough. It's time to step onto the stage, not as a polite guest, but as the actor who owns the script without ever having to write it. And if this message shattered something in you, good. Now share this with a brother trapped in his mind. Subscribe to the channel, The Century Oracle, because this is the gospel no one else will tell you. And if you want to fuel this rebellion against quiet brilliance, support the channel through the link in the description. Because men like you were never meant to stay silent. You were meant to be felt. Now, move.